keep their files. It just depends on what exactly you want.
Now, is that just of the administration and the teachers, or is that also of the board? I mean, if you're keeping emails.
Email comes, the texting and the are online.
We do the same for the board members?
Everyone in the organization.
Everyone in the organization.
You're
So,
speaking to Gmail accounts and things of that nature, yes.
so you store
The information is archived, yes.
the email themselves?
And were you able to read those policies?
I did read through them, Nick. I kind of briefly read through them, not really in depth, but yeah, I did read through them. I actually read the 800 before the last time it was approved. I did read that. And I did read these at, in the middle of the night.
Is 801, is that specifically to do with public records?
Yeah.
The storage and governance has some delegation of responsibility to the Director of Educational Services to oversee
There. Yeah, I saw that in.
So that should answer your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions on the policies?
Brian, you'll have something for you.
Maybe.
Maybe you have anything for us?
No, something brief.
Not like you, I think that was a brief from last time. But I haven't got anything to say. You don't have something that's a mess for us. All right, is there any other new business we need to bring up?
I wanted to jump on monthly enrollment for a second, Carl.
Okay. Right here.
I just want to make a point. I did some math on the monthly enrollment report, and from what I see, and I'm not going to get very specific here, but I'm looking at 176 charter students, roughly 9% of our total enrollment. Off campus, 267, which is 13.5%. It appears that we're increasing on our charter school and decreasing our on campus. That concerns me because we have a low enrollment to begin with. I know I was told by Christopher Bigger back when we left that they were expecting 3,000 students in the district when they did Alloway Creek. And he showed me the feasibility study on that, said that they were wrong, but we're only a little over 1,700 on the grounds. And I'm just concerned because just recently more charter school went up and less students on campus went down. And I also saw that the Thunderbolt Academy was an online option. And I often wondered the purpose of why the students choose to go online instead of actually coming to the facility. That was just a couple questions I was just wondering. Maybe somebody knows.
Thunderbolt Academy, is that the one that can't come to school?
Sure. Thunderbolt Cyber Academy was created to provide an option for students that wanted to be able to stay at home or had a schedule that didn't allow them to come to school. It does provide students who wish to take a cyber course or a cyber education the opportunity to take our cyber course, our cyber education, receive our diploma, and graduate as a Littlestown Thunderbolt as opposed to a Commonwealth Connections student or a PA Cyber Charter student. So it keeps students in the area. Plus, it is a much more cost-effective way to provide that education for our students.
And when you say that, because I looked at the figures, you mean as opposed to charter schools, right?
As opposed to charter schools, that's correct.
Yeah, I saw that in the financials. I was just curious. I noticed there's, what, 50 students in the Thunderbolt Academy, I believe?
I would defer to Dr. Naylor for that, but I believe that's about right.
That's a good estimate.
It's a good estimate. I was just curious because when I door knocked, I know I had a lot of parents who were saying they were keeping their children home for various reasons, and I'm just wondering if that was the aspect into it.
Yeah, COVID changed things dramatically. A lot of people went to, they didn't want to do this, come in, go out, do activities in school as much as possible. A lot of people were afraid of that, and they just put their kids in church.
I'm not complaining about the church school, I'm just trying to bring it up that, you know, we're building onto the high school out here, and we're losing students, and they're going somewhere else, and I know it's very
You have
costly.
to predict the future. You don't know if this is going to be a trend that continues.
I didn't say it was, I'm just questioning.
No,
I'm not
no.
saying it.
And you know what, in the long run, not having to pay for all this stuff at the middle school should.
Well, no, I'm not complaining about the middle school thing. That's not where I'm going. I was concerned because it came up, and I don't want to keep harping on this, when I talked to Christopher Bigger before he left. He said they had these 3,000 students, and that's why they did Alloway Creek. He said, no, he said, had we had known that, we wouldn't have done it. And I'm not saying don't do the high school, middle school project. I'm asking, since our students are going down.
But you know, when they did that feasibility study, I don't think, we didn't have Mayberry. I don't even know if we had Stoner Park at the time.
Right.
It might have been new.
I don't even know where they're getting the 3,000 from, because I've got a feasibility study that's talking 1,900 and talking.
Well, no, it was right on his desk, and he showed it to me. He handed it right to me. He said,
Yeah,
read it.
Mr. Sullivan, their PD provides a regular update to what they project for student enrollment. I'm not sure where they get their numbers. Their numbers are usually very high in projections. What we've seen over the past 5 years is a slow decrease in student enrollment K-12, which is exactly why, as to your point, we are consolidating the middle school and high school together. So what we are doing is very cost effective for our students in our community. So I agree with you, we are losing students, and that's part of the reason why we're consolidating the middle school and the high school into one building.
But don't get me wrong, Dr. Mitchell, I'm not going after the high school, middle school project. I understand what you're saying. I was just concerned about the students going down.
Sure.
That was my concern.
Yep.
That was the only thing I was trying to say.
Yeah, that's
It
no
wasn't
problem.
about the buildings or the added buildings, I wasn't saying about that. I was just, my main concern is looking at these enrollment reports and seeing the students leave. And I question, if I have a business and people start to leave, I gotta start asking, what's the problem? Why are they leaving? And I'm not saying, I'm talking about the students, not, not employees, but still, it's the same thing. So I often look at this and I say, well, why are we losing students? That was my question. I mean, is there a common problem? Are they moving out of the area? Are they unhappy on campus? I'm just trying to address the main issues of the students. That's all, by asking that. And that's why I was asking. Because a lot of times they don't have a voice, so maybe they just up and leave, or go home and do it at home. And that's why I asked that.
Thank you for the clarification.
For sure.
I don't know if they're saying.
What's that?
I don't know if they're leaving because of that happened.
No, I didn't say that. I said, I don't know. That's why I was asking. And that's why I brought the question. I'm asking. This isn't something that I know. I'm asking. I'm saying, look, I'm noticing it, and I'm trying to come to a point to understand why. That's all. I mean, it's just a question.
Kind of like when you leave a job, you don't really tell them why you're leaving, you just leave. So
Yeah.
I would think you know that.
Any further discussion on the school board? A regular board meeting? Any new business?
I would like to circle back on what I brought up at the curriculum meeting tonight, the issue with the dropping off. I don't want it to get forgotten.
No, absolutely not.
I'd like to see it made any progress at all.
Well, for a second, and since I'm on the stage of the curriculum, why don't you let us all,
Drop off in the morning has become terrible. Aces, yes, sorry. There was a little fender bender last week because people just get in a rush and get in that outer lane, and people are trying to drop off here, and they've been told, do not get out of your car, just throw your kids out.
Your fault.
Not really thrown out, but you're not supposed to get out and give them a hug and a kiss and put their little backpack on. They're supposed to be ready to roll out the door as soon as you want. There's been several instances where that is not the case. Someone had mentioned perhaps making the bus loop, the drop off, and putting the bus loop in front of the main office area. for the parking lot. So I would like that to actually be looked at. Well, that won't do you any good because you got parking spaces there.
Mrs. Brennan, just as I shared at the CCNP meeting, that is something that I know I've spoken with Mr. Moran about at ACES. There are a number of options that you've mentioned that we've discussed and we've talked about, and we will continue to provide options, look into that, and see what we can figure out that's best for our students and our families. Sure, you're welcome.
Any other new business? Okay. Now after adjournment of this meeting, we are in executive session to discuss a real estate matter. At this time, we'll need a motion to adjourn.
This one also moved.
Do I have a second?
Ryan Lord, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none? We're out.